Good day, Tamers. Let's talk about something interesting, and that is the current meta game that's going on in Japan right now. So, Sunday Fun Days. I would prefer to do this about the English meta, but as it's a little less commented on, I have tried to do things through Google. I might have to make it a bit more broad and make it more of a universal English meta, so America as well as the Australian and whatever else Australia kind of has interest in, as well as the UK and maybe even Europe. I want to make a small sample size, but the small sample size is a bit too small. So this is the winner from the Osaka qualifiers today. It is the purple / Quartzmon deck, which essentially is I'm going to rush to level 7, and then I'm going to stun lock your whole board, and good luck playing. This got first, makes sense. Most of the two decks now that are currently winning this format are essentially, I get here first, I win. Makes sense. Just quickly go through it. So you've got Monitormon as their basic baby, which is if the Digimon has save in the card's text, draw one card. Awesome. Keep drawing cards. That is the biggest issue that the early material save, or for instance, cross decks have, is that you'd essentially throw your hand onto the field and you wouldn't be able to draw. One of the reasons why X4 was so good, because you draw 2 every time you played him. Digimon here, same thing again. When attacking must return, if this Digimon has save in its text, one of your opponent's Digimon loses DP. Awesome. That makes it easy to punch over things or punch through things. And then just going to save, delete, save, draw, save, draw. And that's what you want to see. Draw power, save, draw, save, draw, rush. Wonderful keywords that you always want to see. Save, delete something. Fantastic white card. This seems weird to me. I don't know why you'd have both these animals. Not in a rude way, more in a... I just didn't think about it, especially because you don't normally have Shoutmon in its name, because I don't think this can go into that. And there's no Shoutmons here, so that makes no sense to me. This is awesome because it's one of those where it's like you don't have to suspend to attack. So if you're already suspended, you can still attack, which is why Quartz comes into play here, and Quartz just goes, oh yeah, by the way, everything's suspended, and you don't get to unsuspend, and because you're suspended, you still get to shoot your cannons off and do really well. Very high lineup of Tamers. This one, for instance, is running at 8, 11, 13. Yes, 13. My brain's on just there. So that's a lot of Tamers, in my opinion, in a meta where BlackWarGreymon X is still fairly good. But then you do look at the second place one today at the qualifiers, and it was a BlackWarGreymon deck. Again, makes sense. Fairly standard. This is a bit different because you don't normally look for things looking for your Agumons, because generally as you cycle through just drawing, you don't really find your Agumons. But I think they're probably a bit more concerned because they want to get to this. And then here, if you have 3 cards or less, you may play a 3 cost or less tie, which makes sense if you're playing, the new tie. So I don't see this one being a terrible idea. I think it was fairly good, sort of as a one-off. It makes sense. Just can't find a tie, put it down early, get it out there. X Antibody, fantastic card. This will be forever standard because it's so good. Especially now with this, you get to reduce the cost of this by 2. It becomes a 2-cost card, and then you go into this for 0, or you go into this for 1. Promo is also really good, so you go into that, go promo into that, and then that on the promo, and then into your BlackWarGreymon, into your Gout, or into your X Antibody, depending on what you need. Cool was at 4, makes sense, super easy. You're going to be doing lots of X Antibody trick shenanigans that we have been doing anyway. And then the new tie is pretty awesome, and then 1 memory boost. 2 Hades Force, and then X Antibodies. Again, makes sense. You're going to search, you might as well look for it and put it under these things to get all your stuff triggering off and jumping into next levels and evolving and having fun times. No, this makes sense. Again, this is kind of the second deck of the format. I've seen a bit of the new WarGreymon doing more work, and then again, this is another Hunter X Hunter deck, which is the purple green stuff, but it's mostly the purple variant. I think last week the green variant was doing more stuff, but this week it's mostly about the purple boys, which is obviously I suspend, but I can still hack, and then everyone's suspending, can't unsuspend, and the old clock shot man's here, and we got all the boys back again. 14 Tamers. It makes sense that this deck would be essentially super powerful, especially if you can punch things. It wouldn't surprise me if when it gets to us, when people are concerned about this, you'll see the is it Megadramons? I think it's Megadramons. I think it's Giga. I think it's Mega. Essentially coming in to punch these things. 4K can't touch him, but you can touch these 2. Touch old Clock Boy. Yeah, I can just see this being a big thing where Meggy is your 2-ofs or 1-ofs in the deck just as a extra informant. Championship qualifiers here. First place, for those of you who aren't aware, Japan is also qualifying for their world, so a lot of people are kind of grinding it out now with the enhancement of having the beautiful Beelzemon structure deck coming out now. I can see a lot of people just throwing into it and just doing their best to get what they can. But no, this is a fairly standard lineup from what I can see. Power is good. This is a little bit different. I'd see people normally play this one over this one, but I presume they are just after here. You can get one Greymon as well as one Marcus. I don't think they played a Marcus, they did not. But no. So yeah, fairly standard. You see this in most decks now currently. This is normally a 4 of, but you take that out and put that as 4. You normally see this as a 4, and then you don't normally see, obviously you won't see this one yet. So I don't know if people are going to go 4, 4, but take that out, sorry. Go so 4, 4, 4, because a lot of the English like to reduce the amount of tech rookies they have so they can do more optional tech choices. This is fairly, no, it's about right. What I see, some people will run the hybrids just in case, or run this at 2, run that at 4, run the old black one at 2, and then you'd have the 2 hybrids. But no, this is a fantastic card, so I want to see this at 4 every single time, and then your choice of either going to punch harder or you're going to, be harder to get rid of. Excellent Play, still a fantastic card. I do like the new version, but this one doesn't really have a place of not being amazing. New Metal Greymon has its places. Again, it gets piercing like the old one did. That was actually a free cost, but this does have that, and obviously it does reduce its cost if you have Greymon in its name. Then you've got Raid as well, so you can do the whole where you're going. And then when to switch, you may play one black or red Tamer card from your hand, which is really good. So obviously you want to play either your original tie to get your security attack, or you want to play your Yuga. You could also, if you really wanted to, play the new tie to go black, but I think people are looking for this for security attack. Again, rushing down is such a big thing in this game. I don't really blame anyone for trying to do that. And then you're in the WarGreymon. A lot of people did wonder if you want to play this with the X antibody. Personally speaking, I haven't seen enough of it to actually go, you do or don't. But from what I can see from this deck, you just want to do as much damage with this card as you can because Raid. And then you want to go into Omnimon, probably to finish the game with Blitz. Ooh. But Blitz Omnimon, still probably the best level 7 Red's ever had. No offense to the other good cards. I mean, the new Omnimon X antibody is fantastic, but this card is just, it does a lot of work. 3-4-2, not such a bad lineup, and then 3 of these. Cool Wit 4 makes somewhat sense, but I think it'll probably be like a 3-3, a 3, and then having this as a 3, just because people do like this. Although you are running black and red, so you could also look at changing some of these out and maybe going for a Hades. I believe you could use Hades. Evo Cup placement first here. This is another WarGreymon deck. These people are really liking the yellow-red option here. It makes more sense if they had that one Sunrise Blaster in here, but they never do. So maybe I'm going crazy. I probably am just going crazy. Although the Monos DP is always nice to punch over things. 4 of makes sense. 4 of makes sense. 4 of makes sense. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is a bit different. I think it's more just your opponents can't reduce Digivolution costs. Is that happening a lot now? Because these are special Digivolution context. So I suppose it's more just for the cross-heart decks, maybe? That's probably what I'm thinking. Just throw it down. And then if you got 2 on the field, they get to 5,000. Maybe. This makes sense. That makes sense. Cheap evolution cost makes sense. Evolve for 0. Do cool things. Go into that. This goes awesome. His 2 cost. If you don't have a tie on the field, you may play a tie. Makes sense. Fantastic card. Yeah, I see people playing this over the other one. It makes sense because it's going to be a free cost, but with this card here, it makes it at 1 cost. And then BlackWarGreymon, and this makes sense as you want to have a aggro or a control variant. Again, this is what people were doing with the BT9 era, where they were playing 3 of these, 1 of the original BT1 for aggro, and then you play the Gao basically just to either clean up or go a bit harder. Then you got the Omnimon X antibody here, which is essentially, Digivolve, and then when you Digivolve, check your opponent's stack, pop a card, and then swing for game if you can. Obviously, you can't really hear because normally what you do it with Blitz, but you don't have access to Blitz in this deck for some reason. Then here you go to Ace Force. As I said before, obviously you got the Black WarGreymon as well as this, but they are both black and red cards, so it makes sense that this would become active. When you would use this card, if you have a Digimon with X antibody in its distribution cards in play, reduce this memory cost by 2, so it makes a 5 cost. Choose any number of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers whose total play cost adds up to the play cost of one of your opponents with Greymon in their name in play or less than, and delete them. Then one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name may attack your opponent. So yeah, if you've got this in the field for 12 or this in the field for 12, Even 7's pretty good. You know, you're getting rid of quite a lot of Tamers, and if that's the case. But yeah, possibly popping 3 Tamers, and then also doing this effect first, or doing this, popping 2 Tamers, digivolving into this, and then going crazy. What would we say about? I suppose it'll be that one. Guess it'll be that one. Guess it'll be that one. We do a thing. Can't do that one. Can't do that one. It makes more sense if we had the X antibody red and black one. So you'd have the 8 cost, pop 2 memory setters maybe, or maybe pop all your core wood. That'd be some fun. But this deck probably looks like something I was going to play more likely when we got to this stuff. I look forward to it. I think it looks really cool. The next set. Although playing just the pure BlackWarGreymon and then playing the pure Greymon variant would probably be fun. Raid seems like a fun mechanic, and I can't wait to give it a go. Especially in Galamon. Galamon needs something. Deck information here, Bagra Army. This got first place in the battle. I think this is essentially just a store, like fun something like low tier. I don't think this is a real thing. Tamer Battle, I feel like it isn't like actual tournament. It's just like locals. But it's nice to obviously see people putting stuff up here. And, you know, seeing Bagra. I have heard a few Bagras winning, like early of BT10. Poor calling. You didn't deserve this. Well, you said, I felt like you didn't deserve this. Nice Bagra Army for you here. It's nice to see. This seems like weird ratios. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Well, these are fine. It's just this ratio here seems weird because you're going 3 and then it's like 5 and then 3. Rather than going like 2, 2, 2, 2, which is what you'd normally do for like a level 7. Each their own. Dragons, yeah. Dobrickmon did some cool things here. So Guilmon makes sense there, getting extra 2 draws because essentially you don't mind losing a card to get 2 cards. This is obviously for power. This is for extra DP that you can explode. Security Tech's always great. Just a dragon name, I believe. I think this is like a rock dragon. I can't remember what Voltramon is. I'm sure it's like a dragon or a saurus. These are dragons. Dragon. Dinosaur. Rocket dragon. Machine dragon. Dragon. And then Omnimon for game. Blitz. So yeah, you do this, get your rush, go crazy, reduce this by 10, cost 3, punch 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then blitz for game. There you go, yeah, awesome. This gives you more DP. They fancy don't punch in option cards. Draw 2 cards, and if you have a Digimon with Greymon or Drat in its name, delete one of your opponent makes sense to me. Again, most of this deck is red, so red, 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 red. Yeah, makes sense to me. And then we have Pyrosphere. Again, 2 costs, draw 2 cards essentially. So, makes sense. Dobrick Turbo. So, for any of those here who want to play Dobrick in a way like this is, yeah, all these cards are currently available right now. So, yeah, as of EX3, if you want to try your hand at this, you can. Also, just having bodies on the field is really good. On it in the security. Red Hybrid, the new version came out. Again, Tamer Battle. I think this is just like store stuff. I think it's massively too interesting. But this would be the best one, obviously, because you don't really care about surviving. You just want to punch things in the face. And if you get some cards out of it, it's great. If not, you don't. And you get a draw card. Draw card's really good. This makes sense. You as 1 makes not a lot of sense. I'd rather have you like 3, 3, 3, and then 2, 2. So 9, 11, 13. Yes, or 2 and then 3 maybe, because obviously drawing is really good. Ah, you're here, that's why. Draw 2 cards. Yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, play you. Get rid of either you or you, depending on what you need. Yep. Random one that can just digivolve. New one. You may digivolve this card on top of it to Kuya. And then you may play this 1 flame on from your hand. We explode it. It's pretty cool. I like the idea, obviously, like recursion. We just want to get 2,000 DP for the turn. It goes punch things. This is fantastic card. Nothing like having this here just to stop these from activating security effects. And this one. Blitz and the new one. I still prefer this one, but I think this does have a place in the deck if you aren't running the ancient Greymon version of this deck. Takuyamon and the Takuyamon, both are fantastic, but obviously one's a memory setter and then one is not. Although this does kind of like do the whole digital things you didn't know. And then Atomic Blaster as a 4 is pretty good. For those of you who don't want to run this at 4, you could always go 3 of these and then 1 Pyro, or 2 of these and 2 Pyro, so you've always got more draw power. Again, draw power is always a good thing in these decks, especially in red. Red does have a lot of draw power. And then at the end of this, we're just going to go over some Beelzemon next, because I love Beelzemon, and it's nice to see what's going on here. And this was the Evo Cup, which means it was a fairly good tournament. New Yamon, because if this Digimon has Wizard or Demon Lord in its traits, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. When attacking, awesome. You're just constantly going to throw things into trash. People are still going to run this one at 2, or I've seen a couple of people run this at 0, but again, I think it's more like just filling it up. Probably like 2, 2, 4, and then 4, and then people running this at 2. For me, it'd be like 4, 4, 4, so that's your 12, and then maybe like 2 for 40, and then maybe one more if you want to. 7 Great Demon Lord search cards. Free trash. Like this is recursable, especially since you've got an actual searcher for your Beelzemons in the first place. Don't necessarily need it. I like this here when Digivolving trash top 3 cards to your deck, but I kind of prefer Wizardmon and then 4. So go 4, 4, and then maybe 2. So you're not going to run into the issue of having like 11 champions. And then maybe more so because you go 10, and then you go 7 here, so you can go 1, and then 4, and then 3. I don't really understand why they're doing 4 and then 2. That seems like a really good way of not getting your X antibody out. Beelzemon, the new one, times 3, and then the old one times 4, because it's your searcher. No? Yeah, when he goes into trash, pull out a Idmon, and then Idmon does its Idmon thing. So if you can pull this one out, you can search for more, maybe get some more stuff out. This one is just fairly good. And then obviously the X antibody. Again, I don't know why they're using the X antibody here as a one-off. You'd want 2 of these, especially in this. So you really want to go 3, 3 maybe, or 2, 4, 2, and then the new All Blast Mode is fantastic, and the new Blast Mode is really good. So yeah, this is always going to be 2 of minimum. And then this is, do you want to run it at 1 of? You don't have to, but you can because it's just serve a purpose. And then I think the other one was here is just for either to trash, or it's just here for security. So I hope to see someone like walks in into security and goes, "Oh, I hit a big scary card." Which you can't play this one unless it's like a card that got added randomly. But no. This is what I've been thinking of, like 2 of each of the Iron Makers. It makes sense to me because you don't want to see this all the time, and you don't need to use this all the time now. Warring Shots makes sense as a 2 of in this deck because delay, return one of your purple Digimon cards from the trash, which makes sense to me because you do tend to like flood these into your trash. You can't get back out otherwise, unless you've got a mat, but you're not running mats anymore because you've got both of these now. And then Corona Destroyer, which for us is Death Slinger, which, yes, fantastic card because you either gain memory or you just delete something depending on how amazing your trash is. So, yeah, I love having the ability at like 20 trash, which is now super easy, of just popping a level 6, or 30 trash, which is still fairly easy, popping a level 7. Another variation of the deck, people are still using the old Pagamon on deletion. Makes sense to me because even if your first turn is essentially this on that, second turn, push something out, run it down, trash 5 cards, and then the next thing you can do is you can play this. Yeah. And the worst case scenario is if you mill one of these, you just play this, and then you throw it in again, and then you trash 3 more. The deck is pretty good. I don't think a lot of people really like Beelzemon, or don't seem to understand how this deck works. So I think a lot of people are very scared they're going to deck themselves out, which you definitely will if you're not careful. But with the new cards added, it's a lot harder. I think Warring Shots is going to trash your deck, place in the battle area, so it goes straight there, so I have to worry about this. And then I think it's the 7 cluster here is when you trash your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Beelzemon X antibody, by returning this card to your trash, to the bottom of your deck, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest lower. So the reason why this is actually okay and not just BL Star support is because essentially, even if you just play it a 1-off and it goes into your trash, if you digivolve into this and there's 1 card left, you will digivolve, draw that last card, put that one in the back into your deck, and then following turn, when you would have otherwise died, you still have a card to draw. And if you've got 7 memory, you can always try and play. Which is why I'm always concerned why I've been seeing like the 1-offs in this. It's like, you want at least 2. Yeah, X antibody makes sense if you are running X antibody stuff, so X antibody, X antibody, X antibody, X antibody. Yeah, it's okay, but I'd rather have like either the Witch or 4 of these. 4, 4, 2 maybe. Again, I just like seeing lots of antibodies just so you can actually pair them up. And the worst case scenario is you can just level this straight onto your Idmons. Worst case scenario. Fairly straightforward. Same as again here. I love this. I think they're all following the same format. I think when we get to over here, I think we'll tweak it. They aren't running the memory setter one. They're just running 3 of these instead. But that's fair enough. I don't think you definitely need to run the memory setter because you can generally just like churn out memory in this deck crazily. This gains memory if it comes out of the stack. And to be fair, the way this goes, you probably only need 1 like stack of cards. You only need 1 actual body, and then you can just like swing for like 4 and turn like 3 or 2, depending how lucky you were in your mills. And then the last one for today will be the other Beelzemon by Kai, Bernie. Again, another sharp placement first. Run one of these, and then for this actually makes sense. One of the very few decks where it's like okay to run either war because you don't mind either trashing because you attacked or trashing because you ran into things. And it also gives you more of an option where it's like, do I really want to just run it down with this here, or would I rather have, you know, one of these here? It gives me extra DP, and then actually go up into a high level before I start attacking. So there you go, you get your choices. But no, face down at a 2, 2, 4, 4. So there's your 10. No, 12. That makes more. That's kind of what I was thinking of here. Like go 2, 2, 4, 4. Having like weird random ones here. You can also go Cyclone or Ghazi if you're really worried about your opponents getting memory or doing effects. I swap the numbers around at least. I go like 4 and 3, and then 3 and 1. I don't know what's going on this deck. It's so weird. But they did have a lot of option cards. I think the idea of this was essentially like if you just mill all your level 5s out into the trash and then just, you know, ultimate sacrifice them back into the game or find it in your security. 2 and 1, I think they were always worried about memory, especially if they're doing this constantly, maybe. Warring Shot 3, makes sense. Favourite card in the world, but I don't know if it's going to be that good in this deck anymore now that you've got so much access to just trashing constantly. The only reason you ran it before wasn't even for the memory, it was just because you were trashing 2 cards. And then 1 X antibody, maybe 2. I have considered maybe doing like 2 of these and then maybe 2 Cool Boys, because that way when you're going up the lines, you've at least got access to the memory if you are going to go like this. Like if these 2 are your main sources, or if you do run 2 of these, which I think is the best optimal play, that's the way you want to look at this. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you for being here. Peace out, guys. We'll see you guys soon for something else. As I said, I don't think I'm doing much over Christmas in terms of like gameplay wise or anything else. But while I can do things like this, I happily will. So hopefully we'll see you guys sooner than later. And if I can get this long video edited and done, then that will go up as soon as I can on the channel. I don't really want to put it up in a non-edited form, so I don't think it's really fair on Nova. Not for anything terrible, it's just very, very long. But yeah, we'll see you guys soon, hopefully, and with something cool on the horizon. So take care and see you soon. Peace out and goodbye.